Welcome to At the Table, a podcast from Quest Fellowship Church. In each episode, we explore how faith intersects with real life, how we navigate culture, community, and personal growth as followers of Jesus. These are just conversations, not conclusions, and space to simply think deeply, listen well, and walk in this journey together. We hope you enjoy today's show.
All right, so today I'm Paul. This is my friend CJ. We're on the pastoral team here at Quest. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the deep abiding love of God, which is a crazy topic in light of our sin. It's kind of like how do we reconcile our minds around the idea that God can see us fully and completely, or we're fully known by this God who's pure and righteous in every way. Like we're fully known in all of our sins, all of our faults, all of our failings, and yet we are fully loved. That's and good. Kind of so the good. Balance of that. Yeah. So I'm going to start off by reading a passage from Lamentations chapter 3, verses 19 through 25 to kind of get our conversation going here. Remember my affliction and my wanderings, the wormwood and the gall. My soul continually remembers it and is bowed down within me. But this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I will hope in him. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. Man, what an interesting passage. Kind of very poetic, but yes. This idea that remembering our afflictions and our wanderings. Yeah. You know, talking about like when our wayward soul chooses its own path, chooses the path of our flesh as opposed to the path of God. Right. And his soul continually remembers it and is bowed down within. Wow. What does it mean for us to be bowed down within based on our sin? It's crazy, right?
I think it's like when you're so broken. That you're broken within where you are, and it's like God is like almost still. He loves you, even in that. And when I think about that thought of how much He truly loves me, in the messes that I've created, the messes I've made, the things that I've done, or what have you, but still He loves me because it's like my soul. He didn't say his physical being. He said his soul.
His soul, yeah.
It's like when you think about that. He said, "Remember." My soul continually remembers it and is bowed down because it's like almost playing over and over again. Like, man, God, I'm not worthy of any of this. I'm not worthy to see the sun. He says His mercy is new every morning. His mercy never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is the sun's going to rise every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it reminds me of how much I am so unworthy of what God can do for me. You know what I mean? Like, It's like a father that loves his child. We're more broken, like I said a few minutes ago, we're more broken than we can admit, and we're more loved than we can be imagined. We can imagine. When I think about that, it's like, wow, God.
Yeah, I was thinking about the beautiful imagery of the every morning, like indicates you're coming out of the night, right? You know, and it's this. It's almost like God gave us the rhythm of the light and the dark, the day and the night, to remind us of like the dark night of our sin, the dark night of our flesh, and then but the morning is there. Like there's always the sun coming up. There's always a newness in our relationship with God. But it's also interesting that from a new covenant, New Testament perspective, like we're called to deny ourselves daily.
Right.
So it's kind of like we get up in the morning and we deny ourselves, and then we receive the new mercies of God. Coming out of whatever it is that we've done, whatever it is that however it is we failed God, because we're going to fail Him every single day. Right. And to just understand the weight of that, the song we ended this Run to the Father idea we ended our last service with, and in that it talks about we have no context for this kind of love. Like we have no sense of really being able to put that in a human perspective.
So good
that we can continually be wronged, and yet we keep coming back with love.
Coming back, man.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I was thinking about what you said, and you read that Lamentations, that verse 24, and I know the Lord is my portion. He says my soul. Therefore, I will hope in him. It's like I know I'm dependent upon the portion of what God gives me. You know, it's nothing I can do on my own. And I just keep going back to that part about he's not talking about his physical, his soul is saying this. It's like, and even when we do wrong, something should be convicting me to say, remember my afflictions and my wanderings, the wormwood and the gall. It's like that it was like the judgment, the wormwood and gall was like that bitterness. It was a bitter thing, but his soul continually remembers it and bowed down within me because I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm lacking in.
Right.
And it's like, God, you still are faithful to me in the midst of all that I've messed up and done over and over again. He's new every morning, man. That
every single morning, you know. I think when I read that, as I was thinking about what we might talk about today, that verse 24, the Lord is my portion.
Yes.
I was thinking back to when the Israelites, you know, they completed the conquest, and if you read the story of Samson, they were living in Mahanadan, which was the camp of Dan. Wow. It's where his tribe was. In other words, they hadn't settled. They hadn't received the portion that God had for them in the promised land. And he went down to Timnah, the scripture says, and the name Timnah literally means allotted portion. Wow. So, like, they weren't actually living in their allotted portion. And so a lot of times I feel like we're in the same thing. Like, we're the full portion of God's love, like that the Lord is our portion. Like, we stay in the camp.
Right.
And we don't want to fully do the work of the conquest to fully surrender and root out all the stuff that needs to be rooted out so that we can actually reside in Timnah, as opposed to like going to have to visit the allotted portion.
Yeah, that's
but
good.
If he is our portion, like that, the love of God to come and to be willing to say, you know what, like you're really not that great, but I'm going to send my son to die on a cross for you. And then I'm going to raise him up. So in him, like that's what that passage in Romans was talking about, in Romans chapter 5, 6 through 11, that we got on our notes here. But like, I'm going to read it because I think it's a beautiful picture of not just the death of Christ, but also the life of Christ. To be part of our portion. Romans 5, 6 through 11, for while we were still weak, at the right time, Christ died for the ungodly. For one, and that's all of us. It's not one or two. Like,
not picking and choosing.
Yeah, it's everybody.
Right.
For one will scarcely die for a righteous person, though perhaps for a good person one would dare even to die. But God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Since, therefore, we have now been justified by his blood, much more shall we be saved by him from the wrath of God. For if while we were enemies, we were reconciled to God by the death of his son, much more now that we are reconciled shall we be saved by his life. And I think a lot of times we forget that piece part, of it, man. You know?
Yes.
More than that, we also rejoice in God through our Lord Jesus Christ, through whom we have now received reconciliation. Yeah. Man, that's just a beautiful picture of what the gospel fully is. So how do you see that, like the imagery of what this passage is saying? What's Paul talking about in relationship to the wrath of God, the covering that we have, but also not just the death, but also the life of Christ?
I think it's interesting, two things he said first in verse 8, but God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, he still died for us. It's almost like I'm visualizing the picture of him being on the cross, looking out, and said, Father, he says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. And it's like, even in that moment, he's still thinking about not just those before him. He's talking about all the way out from time to time, but he still loves us enough that he's standing in a gap because he loves us that much that even though we're enemies of him, he still chooses to love us. Right. And it's like that first part you said, for while we were still weak at the right time, Christ died for the ungodly. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's not just first century. It's not just that century. It's all the way through time. And I feel like sometimes we downplay the cost of really means how much love he really has for us. We downplay it, and it's like when I continuously do and mess around in sin, when I continuously do the wrong things and expect God to just continue to say, you know what, it's okay. You just check the box, you'll be fine. No, but it's really something that he said, like in Lamentations, he said, my soul, but this I call to mind, if I have hope, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies, they are new every morning. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I hope in him. But guess what? I can't hope in something that I don't really know. I can't hope in something that I've never really experienced. You know what I mean? And if I don't know what that love looks like or how it is, it's almost like, I can say I love my wife, I can say I love my children, but how do I show that? Is it through outward action or just through my words or what I'm saying? And this right here is the true testament of how he did that for us. I think for me, it's the visual of how he says, if while we were enemies, we were reconciled to God by the death of his son, much more now that we are reconciled, shall we be saved by his life. Am I saved by his life? Have I been saved by, has God, do I really understand am I fully known that he loved me that much, that even though I was just a mess in certain things, situations I messed up, that he still continues to love me, man. I mean, I don't know. I just, yeah.
Yeah, I think if we're all honest, we can look back on the story of our life and have so many moments of regret where we know that a loving God looked at us and we were probably very unlovable to him in that moment. And yet there was still love, I think it's hard to understand. I mean, maybe we can put it in the context of a parent to a child, and as a grandparent now, like I don't really know there's anything my granddaughter or my grandson could do to make me not love them. But I mean, it's possible, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's the reality of, you can be dissatisfied with people in your life, and you can be frustrated, but the love is something that abides.
Yep.
But to go to a whole nother level to say, you're not really part of my family.
Yeah.
I don't owe you anything. And you've wronged me.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to choose to die for you.
Yeah, that's good right there.
I mean, that's wild.
Man, that's so good.
We don't have any context for that. That's
Right.
like the song says. We don't have the comprehension of being able to understand that, like, because we were enemies of God. We were saved from the wrath of God.
Yeah.
And the wrath is reserved for sin.
So, Paul, let me ask you, do you think that just that, like when I'm trying to wrap my mind around the fact that I've grieved God, but I still fully live in the love that he loves me and that he's offering to me, is it able to say, am I able to say, I can't clean myself up to come to him, but really I come because I can't clean myself up. I can't do anything except get into his presence because I know that when I really understand what it means to be loved by him, I know that I have to come to him because I can't do it in my own power. And I feel like we missed that part about that in Romans 5, which you just read so expressively. He says, for one will scarcely die for a righteous person, though perhaps for a good person one would dare even to die. But God shows his love for us in that while we were still sinners, man. I keep going back to that part, man, because it's like everybody has sinned.
And everybody will sin.
Everybody will sin.
Yeah.
And in that knows that, okay, regardless of who I am, I have an opportunity. It's across the board even. The standard is all across the board that I can come out of where I am. I can come out of that because if I'm fully known by God, if I'm fully known by Christ, like I said, the context of that song, run to a father. Why am I running to a father? Because I understand what I need.
Because I'm in desperation. For what I know about myself. I think love itself flows out of relationship and creates relationship. Like, you're not really going to be in a deep relationship with somebody unless there's love involved in some way. I mean, there's people in your life who are acquaintances of yours.
Right.
You don't really have you don't have love for them.
You just get to know outside.
Yeah, but there's family people.
Right.
There's people that when they tell you something that is gone sideways in their life, like it breaks your heart.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing with God is that he sees every single human being that has ever lived and every single human being that will live all at the same time.
Right.
And he knows every single one of them is going to fail him.
Right. Still loves us.
I mean, there's 8 billion people almost on the face of the planet right now.
Yes.
And I don't know how many people have lived
the
whole existence of humanity and how many people will live before Jesus returns and the sun burns out and all that kind of stuff happens. But all of those people, like he sees it all at the same time. And Jesus still went to the cross for all of that rebellion, for being wronged so much.
Right. So much, man.
Like the love that it takes to do that is a love that
unfathomable
is really unfathomable is a great word. Like we can't fathom it.
No,
We're not able to truly understand it. And I think for some of us, it's easy to love deeply the people that we love, like the people that are that we're in relationship with. And hopefully, because of that love, we can take what God has done for us and apply it at least in some way.
Yeah.
Because we are so deeply loved, even
Right.
in our wrong.
Right.
Can we deeply love those who have wronged us? Can we pass that on?
Can I pass? Yeah.
In some way.
Yeah.
That's hard, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very much so, man. I was thinking about John 15, verses 7 through 10. He says, "If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit and so prove to be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you." This is Jesus talking to the disciples. He's saying, I'm loving you because my Father loves me. He loves me, and I'm showing you the same. I'm the outward manifestation of this love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. And I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking, how many times have I missed that? How many times I missed that? That outward manifestation of how he loves me. And am I really abiding in his love? Am I really abiding in the fact of who Christ really is in those moments when, say, I don't know, if it's that stranger that I might not really feel so good about, or is it if it's my wife, or if it's my children? Do I show the same standard across the board? No, I don't always. But the thing is, he does. No matter who we are,
Right.
He says, "If you abide in me, and my words abide in you." So how do I do that? And I think that's that part about having to stay connected to him.
Yeah.
Stay
I
connected.
mean, the whole vine and the branches imagery is beautiful. In those, I think it's 11 verses, Jesus uses the word abide 10 times. Like it's a sense of, and I think the word bear is used 6 times. So it's this idea that if you abide, you're connected for the purpose of bearing fruit. But abiding is literally like taking up residence.
Yeah.
Setting down roots. It's kind of like that, back to that whole, are you living in a camp or are you in your allotted portion?
Right.
And I think to truly abide, to set down roots, to feel like you belong somewhere, that's a commitment level that a lot of times we don't want to truly abide in Jesus.
Right.
We want to pass through.
Yeah.
Don't
want to let people know who do I really want to let them in?
Right. Like, do I really want to go that deep?
Yeah.
Do I really want to make that level of surrender? Do I want to, totally give myself on an every single day basis to this? Kind
of like what you were talking about in the sermon that you just preached about. Am I willing to on the corner? Am I coming? Put myself on the stone. Is it going to crush me, or am I going to fall on it? It's like, do I really think about how much is it going to cost me? I think that's where it is. I really want you to know me. If I really want you to know me, I got to let you know who I am.
Yeah, and some of us are more quick to do that than others.
Some people are.
Some people tell you too much. Straight up, right? Your first conversation, hey man, I wouldn't have told me that yet.
Let me just jump on you.
But I mean, ultimately, the best relationships get to that place, where like there's really nothing you don't know about me,
Yeah.
And I'm not hiding anything,
Right. That's good.
But I think also in those relationships as well, like you get to a place where you can communicate with a look, or like people that care about me, like, can look at me, even though I'm pretty much stone faced a lot.
Yeah, man, you got that
people will
poker face.
But people that really know me can sense, like they just kind of, and that's after a while, like you just kind of, when you spend time with people, you invest with people, and so the question for us, I think, as followers of Jesus is, do we know that look from him? Like, are we able to perceive?
Right.
Like, are we able to discern because of we're abiding so deeply?
Right.
Like, we're not passing through. Like, we've settled in. We've nestled in. Like, we're here for the good. We're here for the bad. We're here for whatever. And have we truly understood what it meant for Jesus to see the arrow coming,
right,
and to stand in front of us?
Yep. That's good.
And to take it.
Yeah.
To take billions of arrows.
Yeah. And just stand there.
Trillions of arrows.
And just stand there.
Yeah. And to take it. Like, that to me is, there again, incomprehensible, unfathomable.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think the more that we can reflect on that, then the greater chance we have of, being a blessing to those that that we love and those that we want to be able. I mean, as people who stand up and preach, I don't know that I've done as good a job as I wish I could of explaining this concept that we're trying to talk about today. Because it's really just hard to put into words.
I was thinking about what you just said about the arrows and how trillions of arrows, and he stood there and he takes that. And then I was thinking about just even that, the example of, like you said, the layered approach of how we are with people, letting people inside. We don't really, it takes time. It does. It takes time. And like you said, some people give too much information. But then what about those that don't give any information? And they just kind of, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm good on Sunday. I come into the church and then I go back out, but I don't really want to let you know what's really going on behind the closed doors. Right. It's like, you see the door, you see the house. It looks nice outside, but inside. But Christ wants to come and he wants to see all of that. He wants to see everything behind it. He already sees what's behind the wall.
Right.
He knows it. So why? So
he see like when he was dealing with the Pharisees, he said, you guys think you're so pretty on the outside, but inside you're just like, dead men's bones.
Dead man's bones.
I mean, outside the cup looks beautiful, inside the cup, nasty. A cup you wouldn't want to drink out of.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's like you're saying, he sees it all.
Yep.
Like, what are you hiding? Like, what are you trying to hide? You can come in here and you can pose at church on a Sunday. Yep. You can pose in your relationships. Yep. But man, at some point, the real you is going to be seen and revealed and exposed.
Take the veil off.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's not a pleasant experience. Like the more we can be open and honest. Yeah. To me, like one of the questions we had like to think about today was how does this understanding of this love of God, this to be fully known by God in our sin, and to be fully loved. How does that live into a life of worship? It's kind of our theme for the year as a church. Is like what does it mean to live a life of worship?
Right.
And I think what to me I take away from that is if I understand how much God knows about me and has still loved me anyway, then the life of worship means that in my relationships, in the many ways in which I interact with people as a pastor, as a leader in the church, and as somebody who lives in the community, as somebody who's a husband and a father and a grandfather and a son and a brother and all that kind of stuff, like are my relationships reflective of my understanding?
That's good.
Of the love that I've been given.
Yeah.
Because if you live in a relationship with somebody, they're going to hurt you.
Yep. And most times they're going to hurt you at some point.
Most of the time. Most times they're going to hurt you sometime.
They're going to hurt you sometime. They're going to hurt you at some point. And I think that the question is, though, with that, how am I going to respond? Am I going to respond like that new mercy, like he did in Lamentations, new mercy every day? Is it going to, like you said, the light and dark? Am I going to come back again and say, you know what, God, you are the example of this, and he wants us to be. If he knows how much I fall short and I fail, am I really willing to? If I really think about that, the weight of that, the weight of what he really gives up, man, it's like, okay. And I know that, in most relationships, it's funny because you think you're really fully known and you loved, but till heat comes, and when the heat comes, what are you going to do in those moments? Yeah,
do you melt?
What do you melt?
Does the relationship just fall apart? The first sign of stress or trouble?
Because Christ doesn't do that. He didn't do that. Right. You know what I mean? He does. He loves us, even though he knows we're messing up. Even though as many times I've messed up, I can speak clearly. And even in as one of the pastors here at the church, but it's like, God, am I? How am I relating to people? Am I, like you talking about worship, considering my ways? Am I considering my ways of how I need to be? Am I allowing the love of Christ to be seen through my actions and what I do, not just in my house, but outwardly?
Are we trying to live this life with limited mercies?
Oof.
Or are we trying to live it with an unending bucket of mercies? Are our mercies for other people new every single day?
That's good.
Because we're going to need them every day. If we're going to live a life of worship that's going to honor the one who has given us new mercies every single day. I think to be fully known is humbling. That every single thing I think, every single thing I do, I love the scripture talks about, taking every thought captive.
Yes.
And as much as we try to do that, there's some that are going to get away from us. We're not going to be able to capture them all.
Can't.
But God knows all those.
Yes. Yeah.
He's seen them all.
He sees it.
He knows stuff. He knows sin that I'm going to commit that I haven't even committed yet.
Yeah.
And all of that was on his mind and on his heart when Jesus went through the cross.
On that cross.
At the right time.
Right there at the right time.
That's so good. And so it's beautiful to think about that, to be able to say, man, I am so known, and that feels so exposing, right? That feels so uncomfortable. But his mercies are new every day.
Yeah.
And so it takes a daily commitment from us to receive that, I think, to live that life that's going to reflect that to others that we can, even in people that we don't fully know, we don't have to fully know them.
Right.
We just have to know that we're fully known, and then the mercies should flow from us as they flow to
good.
us.
That's good.